talk about what GPS is. The Global Positioning System, better known as GPS, is a satellite-based radio navigation system owned by the United States government, and it's made up of at least 24 satellites. GPS works in any weather conditions anywhere in the world 24 hours a day, with no subscription fees or setup charges. The United States Department of Defense originally put the satellites into orbit for military use, but they were made available for civilian use in the 1980s.
Humans have looked to the skies to find their way. They used the constellations in the night sky to know where they were and where they were going to. Nowadays, all we need is a GPS to know exactly where we are. But we still need objects in the sky to know it and to get to other places. Instead of stars, we use satellites. Over 30 navigation satellites are zipping around the world. These satellites can tell us exactly where we are. GPS works this way. Tracking stations use radio signals to determine orbits of GPS satellites. Command centers transmit orbital data to time corrections and locations of other satellites in the GPS constellations. GPS satellites simultaneously transmits synchronizes time and orbital data to the Earth. And finally, GPS receives compute location using orbital data and the difference in arrival times of signals of at least 4 satellites.
Here we're gonna see the three main types of GPS. The first one is the GPS tracking. This is the monitoring system of the location of an object by attaching a GPS tracking device to it. At its simplest level, the tracking device is equipped with a GPS receiver and with some way to record your current location at regular intervals. The information is recorded and can be transmitted in near real time over a cellular network, or the data can be manually downloaded from the device. The second one is the portable GPS locators. These work and behave like a GPS device installed in a unit, with the difference that it doesn't need an installation and they report according to the client's requirements, taking into account the availability they require and the autonomy of the battery of the portable GPS device. Units can be placed wherever portable asset GPS is required. All the portable GPS locators have the administration resources and control tools of the GPS tracking platform. And the last one, this is the static GPS. This is used in surveying to determine precise coordinates to survey points by simultaneously recording GPS observations on a known and unknown survey point for at least 20 minutes.
The global position system was originally created by the United States for military use but was eventually opened to civilian use. At least 24 GPS satellites are always in orbit around the Earth, and they are constantly broadcasting data. The satellites are arranged in orbit such that 4 satellites are visible in the sky from any point on Earth. This means that GPS will not work if the signals are being blocked. You will want a direct path between you and the sky. In an underground bunker or in a cave under a mountain, it will not work. GPS satellites are constantly transmitting radio signals towards the Earth. Each transmission includes the location of the GPS satellite and the time the signal was sent. Each satellite has an atomic clock on board, so the time is very precise. A device with built-in GPS only acts as a GPS receiver. A device with GPS is not actually contacting satellites to determine its location. Instead, it is just listening for the radio signals that are being broadcast from these satellites all the time. A GPS receiver listening for signals from 4 or more satellites. Signals from the closer satellites will arrive sooner, while signals from the further satellites will arrive later. The actual time difference is very small but can be detected by the GPS receiver. By comparing the time the signal was broadcast and the time the signal arrived, the receiver can estimate its relative distance from all four satellites. Using trilateration, the receiver can then determine its location. Trilateration might sound a bit complicated, but it is simply imagine if someone told you you were 500 miles from New York and 800 miles from Miami and 700 miles from Kansas City. With this information, you could determine a region that is the correct distance from all these cities and estimate your current location. If we told you about your distance from a fourth city, you could estimate your location even more precisely. That is trilateration in a nutshell, and it is what GPS receivers are doing whenever you use them.
Of the GPS. The importance of the GPS is increasing day by day due to the uses and features it has. Some of the main uses are: the first one, it helps to locate our family members and other valuable things. It helps to improve the security. The third, it helps to track the location of people. One of the most important things that the GPS has is the organization with large shipping fleets that needs to know the location of the service vehicle at any time. We can name a lot of examples of this, but one example is the vehicle that has chips that transports the chips to the market. And other example is the truck that has metals or some things to delivery. Most GPS tracking devices work by using GPS technology, like the last examples that I have mentioned before. Another example of the importance of GPS is the next one. The business like cargo, ambulance, taxi, etc. that run off the wheel get treated help with the use of GPS in managing route analysis, maintenance, fuel costs, cutting, speed alert, and so on. What does it mean that? It means, well, I can name Waze, Google Maps, and Maps for iPhone. And these apps help us to know where is a accident, where is a lot of traffic, and some things like that.